First show I did, I performed to not many people. There were 12 people. By the end of my performance, there were only 4 people. Okay, 3 people left. One lady stayed back. She stayed back and she said, I want to meet the performer. So my team came and I said, one lady wants to meet you. I thought some relative or something. I came and met her and she sat me down and said, Bacha, ye mat karo.
Hello everyone, I'm Surmeet Lamba and welcome to another episode of Thamba with Lamba. In the past, I've interviewed a stand-up comedian, I've interviewed a director, I've interviewed a writer, I've interviewed an actor. But आज जो मेरे साथ हैं, he is master of all trades. I have none other than Karthik Kumar sir. Welcome, sir.
Pleasure to be here with you and pleasure to be in Amsterdam.
आपने एम्स्टर्डम बोल ही दिया तो बताइए सर कैसा लग रहा है एम्स्टर्डम में आके?
Oh, lovely, beautiful. परसों जो शो हुआ था, it was really special. Amsterdam, the comedy cafe में वो जो माहौल बना था, वो atmosphere was phenomenal. I just enjoyed it. It was जैसे some shows आपको effort ही नहीं लगते ना. Just it just goes like hot knife butter types kind of thing. It felt like that. So it felt at home.
I should tell you this. तो जो कॉमेडी कैफ़े का ओनर है, his name is Bob. He has been a comedy producer and has also toured India, I think back in like 2005 or back then. I've never seen him कि वो हमारे किसी भी शो में बैठा रहता है. वो आपके शो में पूरा ऑडियंस में बैठा रहा और बार बार मुझे आके कह रहा है, he's good. He's good. So sir, such was the show.
I saw him throughout the show. I was like, wow, this is it feels so respected and so welcome to have a comedy venue owner sit and watch the entire show. So yeah, hats off to him also.
तो सर टॉकिंग अबाउट अभी एम्स्टर्डम की बात चली रही थी, तो क्या क्या घूम लिया सर अभी तक आपने?
आज तो बहुत ट्रैजिक स्टोरी है. आज तो मेरा डायरिया चल रहा है, तो आज कुछ नहीं कर पाया. पर कल मैं I went to the Rijksmuseum और I saw my first sighting of Rembrandt and I think there was one Van Gogh there, but Rembrandt, I was like, ये Rembrandt का पेंटिंग मैं खुद देख रहा हूँ. मैं I mean मेरे सामने है. I mean I've seen it in history books and fine art books, but yeah, just to see the phenomenal European painting work. You can understand light, the way they played with light, the way they played with texture. मुझे मन में आ रहा था कि मैं शायद कि why don't I do a visual arts course. इससे कुछ तो I mean at least like कभी नहीं किया है. I mean when I studied I did engineering and MBA. उससे कुछ सीखा नहीं, पर जो भी सीखना था अभी सीखने का मन कर रहा है. Lots of things.
कितनी चीज़ें करोगे सर?
बहुत कर चुके हैं, कुछ पढ़े नहीं है.
अगली बार मुझे बोलना पड़ेगा, राइटर के साथ एक पेंटर भी बोलना पड़ेगा. बट आप सर हाउ डू यू क्या कहते हैं नो रेम्ब्रेंट एंड वैन गॉग? लाइक आई केम हियर 10 years back. I had zero clue who these guys are. But how did you find about like इन सब के बारे में कैसे पता लगा आपको?
For me, I think so when I was doing cinema a lot, right? और जो शुरुआत में हो रही थी मेरी पहली पिक्चर के वेरी फेमस डायरेक्टर हैं PC श्रीराम नाम के. ही इज़ वन ऑफ इंडियाज़ मोस्ट फेमस सिनेमाटोग्राफर्स. तो जब वो उनके पिक्चर में काम कर रहा था, 2 साल के लिए काम कर रहा था, क्योंकि बहुत धीरे से चल रही थी काम और पिक्चर बहुत छोटी बजट की थी, पर उसमें मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा सीखने को मिला. जब भी कोई फ्री टाइम होता है, he'll give his assistants. और इंडियन सिनेमा इंडस्ट्री में जो भी बहुत मशहूर सिनेमाटोग्राफर्स हैं वो PC श्रीराम के असिस्टेंट्स ही होंगे, राइट? और उनके दिए हुए किताब को पढ़ के आई वॉज अंडरस्टैंडिंग, ओ माई गॉड, सो यू एक्चुअली लर्न सिनेमाटोग्राफी फर्स्ट फ्रॉम paintings, right? Where's the source of your light?
Okay.
You know, how do you, what is the portion that gets shadowed, right? And why is the artist choosing to put that part in a shadow? Like
Okay.
yesterday there was I think there was a self-portrait of Rembrandt, and it's one of the most very famous paintings, but it's a painting in his early times where he's not showing you his face, he's not showing you his most expressive parts. His ear is lit, his cheeks are lit, but his eyes and his nose are not lit, right? And he is experimenting, doing many uh, portraits of himself. क्योंकि he can't hire models to do it, so he's painting himself in various forms. वो अपने आप को different get-ups में अपने आप को देख रहे हैं, and he's trying to do all, like for instance अगर if he had to paint a famous person जो पैसे दे रहे हैं कॉर्पोरेट शो जैसा, कोई पैसा दे रहा है आपको, उनको you have to make them happy. वहाँ he can't play with shadows so much because they'll be like, yeah, मेरा picture, मेरा face नहीं दिख रहा है ऐसे, you know, you're subject to the client's needs.
जी.
Now he is getting to paint in a way where he puts the most expressive parts of him in shadows. So you know, that is what art is. Art is you're choosing to shine a light on certain things and get people to notice something that otherwise they may not have noticed separately.
Wow.
Right? Art is just that. And like visual art is that. Stand-up comedy also, like when you start making a joke about something, people start thinking about that topic a little more. यार मैं हंस रहा हूँ, पर क्यों हंस रहा हूँ, इसमें सोच क्या थी, मैं क्या सोच रहा था इसके बारे में, what happened in that entire thought. Joke क्या होता है? Joke is basically like you're playing with somebody's thought, right? You're making somebody go down a road that they think they know, and then you suddenly changing the road. You're like, यहाँ कहाँ आ गया, kind of thing. No?
सही
So
बात है.
it's that sense of playing with, या मैं यहाँ लेके आ जाऊँगा और misdirection यहाँ लेके आऊँगा. So it's that fun and play, and that's art. And you can see great painters doing that in a gigantic canvas, and you're like, wow, this is phenomenal. And of course, उसके अलावा just the skill of these painters, and phenomenal.
मतलब आपको ये तो समझ में आ रहा है, मैं चाहता हूँ, मुझे कुछ दिखता नहीं, अरे ये क्या बना दी बड़ी पेंटिंग.
I think देखने की, I mean, अगर कोई आपको सिखाए और दिल से सिखाए, तो सीखने वाली बात बहुत ज़्यादा है. And it's also, no, like for instance, even engineering, बहुत beautiful subject है, पर मेरे जो टीचर्स थे, वो उनको उस सब्जेक्ट से उतना प्यार नहीं था.
अच्छा.
तो जो भी बात इंजीनियरिंग के नाम से मैंने सीखी है, वो प्यार से नहीं सीखी है, वो थोड़ा एग्ज़ाम और कंपल्शन के लिए सीखा था. पर जो भी सब्जेक्ट्स है ना, जहाँ एक अध्यापक मिल जाए हमको जो बहुत प्यार से और श्रद्धा से जो सिखाते हैं ना, उससे तो कुछ भी सीख जाते हैं. और उससे हमको यही क्या सीखते हैं हम, वी लर्न लाइफ फ्रॉम दिस पीपल. हाउ डू यू हैंडल a topic or a subject or a person or the world. That's all you learn from these teachers. So it's not about saying, oh, it's very complicated. नहीं, अगर प्यार से कोई सिखाता है, कुछ भी सीख सकते हैं बस.
That's so true, sir. But sir, engineering से acting, मतलब first step was acting, right? कि कुछ और था sir?
Yeah, first step. I think as soon as I joined engineering, I was only doing acting. सो इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज की टाइमिंग्स होती थी, 7 बजे को सवेरे निकलते थे और 5 बजे को वापस आ जाते थे. 5 बजे के बाद 11-12 बजे तक आई यूज्ड टू डू असिस्टेंट डायरेक्शन, आई यूज्ड टू डू एक्टिंग, आई यूज्ड टू डू स्टेज मैनेजमेंट.
इन द कॉलेज?
हाँ, आउटसाइड कॉलेज.
अच्छा.
एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर.
अच्छा.
तो ऑल आई गॉट टू लर्न ऑल द काइंड्स ऑफ, जो भी, यू नो, नॉट जस्ट एक्टिंग बट ऑल दीज छुटमुट काम जो होता है ना, स्टूडियो प्रोडक्शन, असिस्टेंट डायरेक्शन, ये सब. आई लर्न अ लॉट इन दोस 4 years. फॉर मी इंजीनियरिंग डिग्री ख़त्म करते हुए आई फेल्ट लाइक आई हैव लर्न सो मच इन आर्ट्स ऑल्सो. आई वॉन्ट टू, इससे शायद इससे एक आई डोंट नो, इससे कैन वी मेक अ लिविंग आउट ऑफ दिस. वो ग्रीड आ गई थी. वो ग्रीड को क्या बोलते हैं हिंदी में?
लालच.
हाँ, वो लालच आ चुकी थी. इससे पैसा बनाएंगे तो काम ही नहीं करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि हमारा इंटरेस्ट है, दिल लग गया है. काम, पैसा नहीं मिला तो भी दिल लग गया है ना. तो आई थॉट व्हाई नॉट कंटिन्यू दिस रोमांस टू मेक अ लिविंग.
बट फिर आपने पोस्ट ग्रेड भी किया.
पोस्ट ग्रेड भी किया, MBA भी किया.
वो क्यों किया सर?
वो क्यों किया, इसलिए किया क्योंकि पैसे के बारे में हमारे कल्चर में हमें कुछ सिखाते नहीं है. वेयर आई कम फ्रॉम अ सर्टन मिडिल क्लास अपब्रिंगिंग इन साउथ इंडिया वेयर आवर पेरेंट्स डोंट टीच अस अबाउट मनी, राइट. और मेरे जो क्लासमेट्स थे, दे लार्जली फ्रॉम लेट्स से Marwadis from the north, or even Punjabis, in fact, and Gujaratis. The seek that they have about money, पैसे के साथ क्या how do you treat money with a certain respect and at the same time a disrespect. Don't respect it so much. South India में I think my culture, our parents didn't teach us about money. So ये जो बात थी, we have to make our living out of doing your own thing. I think I understood a lot about money, marketing and value in MBA.
Okay.
And in those 2 years, I also got to do 2 years of fine arts and theatre with Mallika Sarabhai's theatre space in Ahmedabad.
Wow.
So we did about 4 big productions there, and we became a very popular student theatre group उस 2 साल में. और वो भी एक तरह की वैलिडेशन थी कि शायद ये we can consider this as a profession, शायद, maybe. तो yeah, I think that's what led to 2 years. उसके बाद we started Avum as a company.
But job भी की आपने, मतलब did you?
Yeah, I worked in sales for 2 years. मैं बॉम्बे में काम कर रहा था. Bombay, it was a traveling job, so Bombay, Pune, Bangalore, Vizag, so all these places we were launching some youth product जैसा, पर sales कर रहा था. और बहुत मेहनत करनी थी क्योंकि काम से मुझे प्यार नहीं था. जब प्यार नहीं है तो जो भी काम करते हैं ना, लगता है जैसे बहुत स्ट्रेनुअसली कर रहे हैं, राइट. बट जब प्यार हो जाता है, यू नेवर थिंक अबाउट कितने बजे तक काम कर रहे हैं, क्या काम कर रहे हैं, बस काम के बारे में ही सोच रहे हैं. जब प्यार नहीं था ना, तब सब कुछ मुश्किल लग रहा था, सब कुछ. सो इट वाज 2 years, आई वाज जस्ट काउंटिंग डाउन सेइंग ये कब ख़त्म होगा, क्योंकि उस 2 years के बाद आई वुड हैव पेड बैक माई एजुकेशनल लोन्स. तो वो हिसाब ख़त्म करके आई स्टार्टेड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप.
बट मैं जैसे ये आप जो भी बोल रहे थे, एक बिल्डअप हो रहा था मेरे दिमाग में, इमेजिनेशन में, कि अब आपने 2 साल जॉब कर लिया है, आपके पेरेंट्स भी देख रहे हैं कि माई किड इज़ ग्रोइंग, लाइक ही इज़ डूइंग वेरी वेल इन हिज जॉब, और घर वाले तो इसी चीज़ पे खुश होते हैं. एंड देन यू गोइंग टू देम एंड सेइंग कि टाइम फॉर मी टू क्विट माय जॉब. तो क्या रिएक्शन था
उनके? वो तो डर रहे थे शायद ये फेल हो जाए, शायद ये जो इतनी पढ़ाई की है, इतनी जो मेहनत की है, वो शायद इट विल गो डाउन द ड्रेन काइंड ऑफ थिंग. वो डर था उनके पास. पर उनके पास ये भी एक जिम्मेदारी थी कि ये बंदा तो 2 साल काम करके अपना एजुकेशनल लोन भर के ये जो स्टेज आ चुका है, ही शुड ट्राई. नहीं तो लेटर ही विल ऑलवेज रिग्रेट सेइंग ये मुझसे नहीं हो पाया, आपने मुझे अलाउ नहीं किया. तो आई डोंट थिंक दे वांटेड टू फील रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू होल्ड मी बैक. सो वहाँ से शुरू हुआ ये जर्नी, एंड तब से तो ये रुका नहीं है.
बताइए सर एवम के बारे में, मतलब कहाँ से ये नाम आया? जैसे कुछ होता है ना कि यू मीट लाइक माइंडेड पीपल, देन यू पिच दिस आइडिया एंड द अदर वन से बहुत बढ़िया यार, लेट्स डू इट. हाउ डिड सर, मतलब कहाँ बैठ के ये पूरा प्लानिंग, मतलब आई नो कि आपने बहुत सोचा इसके बारे में, बट तो उसके बाद भी एक स्पार्क मिलता है, एक मोमेंट होता है जिसमें लगता है बस आज एवम बनने वाला है. हाउ वाज इट सर?
Avum is, I think, about, it started about, and it always has been about giving people a chance who have never had any artistic background, right? Because India mein, if you want to be in films, you should go to a film institute. If you want to be in drama, you should go to NSD. पर काफ़ी लोग हैं, मतलब कि ज़्यादातर लोग हैं जो आर्ट्स का कोई बैकग्राउंड नहीं रहता, unless your parents were in the arts. You only think of movies as यार एक दिन एक पिक्चर में एक रोल मिल जाए तो अच्छा होगा. That kind of dream हर किसी के पास होता है, पर कोई उस ड्रीम के लिए प्रिपेयर नहीं करता, कोई बस ड्रीम ही रह जाता है, राइट. बट फॉर लॉट ऑफ पीपल आई फील लाइक देयर इज़ एन आर्टिस्टिक साइड ऑन ऑल ऑफ अस. हम में वो आर्टिस्ट है. जब भी हम कुछ जो भी फीलिंग्स हम महसूस कर रहे हैं उसको गाने के मुताबिक या कॉमेडी के मुताबिक या राइटिंग और स्टोरी के, देयर इज दैट वे टू फ्लो, right? So I think I started Evam, me and Sunil, two of my classmate from Maika. We started it saying, yaar, let's start a company which gives us a chance.
Oh, wow.
Let's give ourselves a chance. And in that process, make sure that lots of people participate who have, even though they may have had no experience in art. Let's give them that first opportunity.
Yep.
And that's how it all started. Every actor or every lighting designer, every producer, director who worked with us were newbies, freshers. जब theatre कर रहे थे, freshers थे. Stand-up कर रहे थे, freshers थे. We have never worked with any artist who was already well known and they just wanted to be. Everybody, almost everybody we worked with, we've all pushed them saying, इससे आप, I mean, try and see if this can be not just a hobby. इससे ज़्यादा एक, इसमें आप try and see if you can find some more meaning in this. If you make a living out of it, it's great. But if you find some meaning in it, ये करते रहना. So that kind of an attitude was what Evam started with. We're 20 years young this year. And
Wow.
that's what the journey is about. The journey's been only about giving people a chance who were never artists themselves. We started with ourselves.
What happened first, Evam or your first acting debut?
Simultaneously, both.
Acha.
I had done some small roles. My first lead role happened along with Evam. So I used my acting career very, very, like I can honestly tell you, I used it as a way to earn money so that Evam can run.
Oh, wow.
So इससे पैसे बना रहे थे और आर्ट्स प्रोजेक्ट्स में डाल रहे थे. So first 10 years we were not finding it easy to make money. So I think the cinema career helped me fund the company. Yeah, I think that cinema journey also had its own course. I think after about 15 years into the industry, I stopped acting. I said, नहीं, मुझसे ये नहीं होगा. I want to do something else in film industry. मुझे acting, जो roles मेरे पास आ रहे हैं, वो उसमें वो दिलचस्पी नहीं थी. So I thought I wanted to do something different, and that's when I got to direction. So now I'm one film down as a director.
Congratulations.
Hoping to. I'm writing my second. That's I think my Amsterdam and the Europe tour is so that I finish my script in time, and hoping to direct the second one next year.
To all the North Indians here, आपको मैं बता दूँ, sir has acted in Satya and Yuva. He has worked with legends like Mani Ratnam.
Yeah.
Sir, how was the experience? कैसा था वो, क्या कहते हैं उसको, आपका जो basically मूवी के लिए audition? Yes.
Mani Ratnam is from my life is a very important point of reference. जब हम स्कूल में पढ़ रहे थे, जो पहली पिक्चर्स हमने देखी थी, जिससे हमें बहुत ज़्यादा एक लाइक इम्पैक्ट हुआ, वो सब मणि रत्नम के पिक्चर्स थे. He was able to fuse commercial cinema with world cinema. He was able to give that sense of both. So, and the fact that he was from my city, मतलब कि हमारे घर से just 2-3 kilometers away.
Wow.
He also did his MBA. He also went through the route as such. And it felt like, यार ये कर सकते हैं तो शायद that's a sign for all of us to follow. So he was an important point of reference. उनके पिक्चर में मेरा जो पहला स्मॉल रोल था वो उनके पिक्चर में ही किया था, अलई पायोदे नाम का, साथिया का तमिल वर्जन. That's the film in which Maddie debuted. So Maddie का debut film. And so उस पिक्चर के लिए they were looking for Maddie's role. And Maddie was one of the people being considered, and they were looking for me also. And I was very young. तब I was 18, 19, yeah. And Maddie was, I think, 25, 26 that time. And so he suited the role much more. And they called me saying, एक छोटा सा part आप आएंगे. I said, I'll do anything in a Mani Ratnam film. And that's how I did that film. When the film released, I was not even in Chennai. I was studying in Ahmedabad. So I didn't know how well that film did. इतनी बड़ी हिट थी.
बहुत बड़ी.
Maddie became a heartthrob. Even my one scene, people like even 20 years later, 25 years later, they remember it saying, "Wo picture," because of the impact of that film. right? So it was a great way to begin a career. I think I'm very grateful that that's the start I got.
तो आप you were in MBA when you debuted.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
वहाँ पे तो वही सारी लड़कियाँ एकदम क्रेजी हो रखी होंगी कि oh we have a film star in our college.
Yeah, they were shocked that when the film released, I was in college and they heard about it. They heard the music of the film. They were like, "Which is your song?" I said, "मेरा कोई song नहीं है, मैं बस एक छोटा सा role कर रहा हूँ." पर that same role I did in Satya about 2 years later. I did it. I did it for Shad. Shad was the director. So yeah, that was my beginning.
वाह, मैं इमेजिन कर रहा हूँ कि अगर मेरे कॉलेज में जिसको मैं जानता हूँ उसने मूवी की होगी, यार मैं तो सही बोलूँगा यार, किसी कहीं शूटिंग हो रही है, चलो मुझे लेके चलो.
हाँ.
वो होता था आपके साथ कि यार
नहीं, वो सब नहीं हुआ था क्योंकि I always felt like I never felt like यार ये pictures है, ये films हैं, ये एक it's like a big thing. I always felt like नहीं, इसमें मेरी दिलचस्पी है, इसमें मेरा मन लगा हुआ है, ये मेरा काम का ये मेरा ऑफिस है. So I never thought of movies as wow, it's a big stage. I'm like, no, this is my work. So I don't value even the fame that comes from cinema. Fame तो इसलिए आता क्योंकि the films itself are popular, right? It's not that you are famous. Fame rubs off on you because you are in a world which people want to see. That's all.
That's
right?
true.
So fame is not yours. Fame is just like when you walk into a place and because of the smell, it goes into you. That's not your smell. It's just after a while you wash it, it'll go off. So yeah. So for me, films, arts, theater, all have been just workspaces. Like it's like what do you say? It's like meditation, or it's like temple rituals. जो भी रिचुअल्स होते हैं टेम्पल में, दे डोंट मेक अ बिग डील ऑफ इट. जैसे नहीं, रोज करते रहते हैं, 10 बार करना पड़ेगा, 20 बार करना पड़ेगा, बस that's the work.
Did you enjoy dance numbers?
I did not enjoy क्योंकि मुझसे हो नहीं पा रहा था. I mean, it's not so bad also. When you finally see my 10 to 15 songs I've danced on screen, it's not bad.
Yeah.
पर उसमें वो नॉट बैड के लिए इतनी ज़्यादा प्रिपरेशन करनी पड़ी मुझे, वो दर्द, वो पेन मैं कभी भूलूंगा नहीं. एंड इट्स लाइक बाकी लोग जो बिना पढ़े मैथ्स में 100 स्कोर जाते हैं ना, हमको 50 और 60 मार्क्स के लिए पूरे साल पढ़ना रहता है. तो दैट्स व्हाट डांस वाज फॉर मी, एंड दैट वाज द वन थिंग दैट I wish as a youngster I had learnt art, I had learnt music, I had learnt dance.
Wow.
Because that, too much importance is given in India for young kids to learn maths, language, science, but not enough about just the soft, most beautiful emotional art forms which are really critical for a child to help their own emotional understanding if they express it through their art.
Yeah.
It's
I think
the best life.
I'll link it back to what you started by कि इंडिया में हमें पैसे नहीं सिखाते हैं.
Yeah.
हमारे को सबको बोल दिया कि इंजीनियरिंग कर लो, आपकी लाइफ सेट हो जाएगी, तो फिर जो करना है कर लो.
हाँ.
तो whereas in this part of the world, अगर किसी को समझ में आ गया the person is good in badminton, तो पूरी even government would कि यार इसको सिखाओ, we will take care of the person. तो कोई आर्टिस्ट अच्छा है, तो I think ये थोड़ा सा, I think it is changing now where parents are also looking at other options apart from engineering and medicine. I think thanks to IPL as well, मैं थोड़ा सा बोलूँगा कि IPL ने बताया कि यार स्पोर्ट्स में भी बंदा पैसा कमा सकता है.
Correct.
तो I think it is different. It is changing now, but I think it will still take a generation.
But even then, always the mentality of parents is I have to teach my child to make a living.
Yeah.
Make a living मतलब पैसा बनाना, not how to live life. Make a living. Make a living, बस वो कनेक्शन होता है कॉमर्स के साथ, बस. It's not about how to enjoy your life to the maximum. Because हर किसी के पास धन होने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है. I have never been rich. I have always had enough money to do whatever I want to do. उतना ही पैसा मेरे पास है. उतना ही पैसा चाहिए भी. That's all money. You need money is a means to जो भी आपको करना है और जो भी आपको इन whatever you want to achieve in life, money should just help you achieve that much. Money is not for 20 years later. Money is for, if it's not of use to you today, then what is the point of it? So I don't think parents teach children how to live life. They worry that children should make a living. That's about
How
it.
to survive, right?
How to survive. Yeah, survive is not survive is, yeah, I mean, a lot of people fight to survive, but a lot of middle to upper class people, right, upper middle class and middle class people actually don't have to worry about survival so much. They worry more than the actual survival problem they may be having. The worrying becomes a way of living. They're all scared saying अगर ये नौकरी छूट गई तो मेरा तो बहुत बुरा हाल हो जाएगा, my life is gone. That worry is always driving us, and when worry becomes a driver, you don't enjoy life. You feel like you're a mazdoor in some kind of a sweatshop.
हर फ्राइडे को दारू पीते पीते मैनेजर को गाली देना.
Yeah, that's so sad. Yeah, I mean, as much as it's we have only put ourselves in that situation. It's
Definitely.
our own chain around ourselves. When you realize that it's your own chain, it's like that story, that elephant. When it was a little elephant, they tied a chain to it. It couldn't pull. When it tried pulling. After it grows up, the chain is very, very small. It's a huge elephant.
Yeah.
But it doesn't realize that it can break the chain. It realizes saying like try किया था पर वो छूटा नहीं तो शायद छूटेगा नहीं. It doesn't realize it's grown up so much. We don't allow ourselves to grow that much. And even if we have grown, we don't realize we have grown. We don't trust. I don't know. We don't trust the universe enough. The universe is
such
filled with possibilities.
क्या बढ़िया थॉट बोला सर. That's a reality. हम लोग अपने आप को बांध के रखते हैं.
I'm also optimistic, so that's also a problem. So मैं हर किसी बात को optimism से देखता हूँ. So I never think of it as difficult. I think of it as हाँ ये शायद हो सकती है, हमसे हो पाएगी, हम कर सकते हैं. हाँ फेल हो गए तो ठीक है, इसमें क्या है. I don't think of failure as so bad also. I mean, फेल करने के बाद दर्द तो लगती है, पर उससे ज़्यादा दर्द होगी जब हम ट्राई ही नहीं किए. So that's the bigger pain.
From acting to comedy.
Yeah.
वो transition कैसे हुआ?
Acting firstly is a very passive job, which means that you have lines written for you. You don't do any writing work. You only wait for the writer to give you the dialogues and the director to help you create a vision. But I knew inside me there's a writer inside who wanted to write. Eventually, the writer today has written a book, has written 3 screenplays, has written 4 comedy specials. But mujhme wo writer tha. I knew at all points of time I wanted to write. I used to write detailed fictional entries in diaries. I won't just write what happened. I will write about how I felt. What was it like? I'll write. And it'll become like poetry meets fiction meets cinema. It's like, it won't even seem like a diary entry. I love doing that. And I think that was where I started saying, hey, actor's job is different. What if I start writing for myself? And I used to think of it as solo theatre. So I used to write about topics and I used to perform it, and we used to call it breaking the fourth wall theatre. Fourth wall ये होता है कि जब हम perform कर रहे हैं, audience देख रही है, we'll never see the audience, right? So that fourth wall exists between the audience. What eventually became stand-up comedy, right? When you remove that fourth wall and you start talking to the audience and they talk back to you, and it becomes like a give and take exchange. Then you're able to share very different stories, because then you have to make them feel like we are in the same mehfil, right? So that feeling stand-up comedy could create, and that gave me space. Acting mujhe aati hai. What if I write for myself as an actor? So when I write a piece right now, as an actor, I go perform it on stage. So my stand-up comedy is very, very deeply written. I write a lot and then I go perform it like it's a piece of theatre. So it's a different approach than a lot of comics. Like somebody like Zakir doesn't even write. right? For him, it's just a free-flowing set of thoughts. Um, but for me, it's about the writing. It's about making sure that like probably a Veer is like that. Veer Das is like the writing becomes the source of your comedy as such. So yeah, I guess that's. I think I wrote pieces for myself to perform as a comedian. So initially, all my comedy was about general topics, जिस पे लोग हंसेंगे. हाँ, इस बात पे हम जोक बनाते हैं. After some time, I started realizing, saying, नहीं, मुझे जो भी बात करनी है, मैं लोगों को हंसाऊंगा, पर मुझे जो बात करनी है, वो I will choose what I want to talk about and what I want to write about. So, I think that journey has been fabulous. It's beautiful. It's a gift.
So even as much as I know, आपको पता भी नहीं था आप stand-up comedy कर रहे हो.
हाँ.
So you
बिल्कुल
were
पता
doing
नहीं.
something which you eventually got to know
Yeah.
that it's stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
how did you get to know about that?
I think at the same time, जब हम 2008-2009 में हम पहले जो Breaking the Fourth Wall theater कर रहे थे, at the same time, I think the Comedy Store opened up in Bombay. And they started doing a lot of comics from abroad used to come and perform at the Comedy Store. Very few Indian comics used to perform. Those few Indian comics, I think, started doing it like spots, 10-minute spots, 15-minute spots. We started looking at them saying, अबे वही तो कर रहे हैं हम. But we are doing 1 hour spots, 1.5 hour spots. So straight away, in South India, we were doing 1 hour shows, half an hour shows, 45-minute shows. Whereas there, they were trying to get 5 minutes right, then 7 minutes, then 10 minutes. And then we realized, oh, acha, okay, this is like when stand-up comedy is one worldwide thing. The Comedy Store has come from UK. ये हमको सिखाने वाले हैं तो comedy कैसे चलती है kind of thing. I wouldn't say, we were curious to see ये क्या होता है, what is this. So at that point of time, I think we made a few trips to Bombay to perform there and all that. And then we realized, अच्छा, तो ये एक इंडस्ट्री जैसा बन रहा है. सो दिल्ली देवर कॉमिक्स, देवर कैलकाटा में देवर कॉमिक्स, बैंगलोर में देवर कॉमिक्स, बॉम्बे एंड चेन्नई. आई थिंक दीज वर द main 5 centers as such. So I think that generation of comics, all of us used to constantly share notes.
Okay.
कैसा चल रहा है, which rooms are running in this thing. Every comedian from that time has run a room, has been a producer, has been an open mic runner, has been an open micer. So in all ways, I think that first 20-30 comics, even today we share notes on kaisa chal raha hai, what's happening, is everything okay, I mean, what is this new trend. We ask each other these questions and the answers come. So it's I think that's the bond that probably that first 25-30 comics have, which is because we were doing it at a time when we didn't even know what we were doing. Abhi bhi hai, now also we don't know. But now we pretend like we know. That time we didn't even pretend, we didn't know what we were doing. कोई कुछ समझ में ना आ रहा था. We were just doing spots left, right, center. We used to do lineups of 5 artists, 6 artists, 7 artists. Now we don't do lineups at all. But I think from 2009 to 2013-14, we were just doing like various venues. Nobody was making money for sure. And शायद यहाँ वहाँ corporate shows चली जाती थी, पर उसके अलावा कोई पैसा नहीं बना रहा था. पर बहुत ज़्यादा एक और one exciting underground energy was happening. That was the most fun beginning to stand-up comedy as such.
I'm curious to know, sir, that from 1 hour solo act to reducing, first of all, a compact version in 5 minutes and breaking the fourth wall. How was your first time doing stand-up? Do you still have memories?
Yeah. My first ever show, I did a 45-minute set.
Like the first show,
first show was 45 minutes.
Even before open mic, like
yeah,
okay.
It shows how little I knew about the craft.
Okay.
Because I was just talking. 45 minutes लिख चुका हूँ. Today, if I took that 45 minutes, it would have become a 6-minute bit. Right? But that time, 45 minutes के लिए लिख रहा था. The first show I did, I performed to not many people. There were 12 people. By the end of my performance, there were only 4 people. Okay, 3 people left. One lady stayed back. She stayed back and she said, I want to meet the performer. So my team came and I said, one lady wants to meet you. I thought some relative or something came and met her, and she sat me down and said, बच्चा ये मत करो. ये तुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा. आप मत करो.
Really?
अभी भी I know for a fact there are thousands of people who will come on YouTube comments and say the same thing. I'm like, अबे यार वो तभी सुन चुका हूँ. आप क्या बोल रहे हो? Kind of thing. But that was the first show of mine. That same day at 7 o'clock I had another show. Same 45 minutes. I was like, यार, wow, करते हैं. And that didn't go so bad. It was actually quite nice. But I know for a fact that that's how it started. It started saying, तुमसे नहीं हो पाएगा, तू क्या कॉमेडी करेगा, and अबे यार तू एक्टर ही रहे ना, why just be an actor only? What's the problem? That I think that's something that why did I do it? I did it because I was excited about it. I was enjoying it like a child. As a child, when you're playing, you're not worried about how well you're playing. Because nobody's telling you how you're playing, right? You're only excited about the play, right? And entire gully cricket is all about that only. Gully cricket is all about the joy of playing. Nobody's playing correctly. Nobody's playing with technique, right? It's the joy of playing. तब मुझे वो joy भरपूर दिलचस्पी fully I was invested in it. So whoever told me ये आपसे नहीं हो पा रहा है, ये आप ठीक नहीं कर रहे हैं, ये आप कुछ और कर लो, I was not listening to anybody. I mean, I'll be like, हाँ मुझसे नहीं हो रहा, हाँ दिख रहा है. Of course, I can see the audiences are not enjoying it so much. पर करते करते सीख जाएंगे. That optimism and that enjoyment is all. I give myself a lot of chances.
So, sir, from there to your first special, what was the journey about?
I think the journey has always been with resistance. There is nobody in comedy right now who does not face resistance on a daily basis, right? And resistance, matlab, comedy is such a subjective thing. If you don't find something funny, you feel compelled to say, I don't find it funny.
Yeah.
यार कोई और इसको फनी फील कर रहा है, आप क्यों इतना टेंशन ले रहे हो? कोई नहीं बोलता. They will want to say, ये मुझे हंसी नहीं आ रही है, मुझे हंसाओ. As if it's like that. So every day, whether it's on digital media or whether it's on live shows, we get that resistance always. So that resistance is nothing new for us. So that resistance has always been there, and therefore as we did our first special, then my second and my third, now I'm slowly becoming more and more my own kind of artist, right? Today my art is the most beautiful space where I can be myself, right? I don't have to pretend to be something that you should like. In the first two specials and all, I used to be like, no, लोगों को अच्छा लगना चाहिए, I have to look like this. Today I'm like, नहीं, मुझे I want to present myself authentically. और जो भी मुझसे उसके बाद कोई प्यार करे या और feel connected to, और हो जाएगा. It will happen. And those people will come for my shows. That's all.
Tell me more about Arms Planning, sir. How did the thought came? Like, how did you create this 80 minutes, if I may say?
Yeah, 85 minutes, yeah. It's simply put, the show is about gender privileges that men have over women, right? And the cis heterosexual male is the most oppressive species walking this earth right now, right? And I have been, therefore, a terrorist to most people in my life, whether it's women or whether it's people with different genders. I have always been blind to the power and the privilege and the privilege I had. I think this show is about breaking that. I think a lot of men, a lot of people in their respective relationships, men are slowly getting tuned to the more softer side of conversations. Yaar, why don't we men create a space where we are able to discuss the hard things, difficult things, right? Why are we only discussing sports and beer and women? Why aren't we discussing the things that really give us a difficult time, right? So that eventually we'll become better partners, better parents, better humans, for ourselves to be happy in life, right? Because somewhere all of us are always out to fight a war, राइट जिंदगी में जीतना चाहिए, नौकरी में पहला आना चाहिए, आई वॉन्ट टू विन दिस, आई वॉन्ट टू, एंड ऑलवेज वी आर वर्किंग ऑन जीरो सम गेम्स. If I win, somebody should lose, right? Whereas the best things in life are where you have won and nobody realizes you won. आपको ही पता चलेगा कि यार मुझसे बहुत अच्छी बात हो गई यार, I did something great. You genuinely feel like यार I thought I couldn't do it, I did it. People are still saying it's not good. I'm like no, but I gave myself a chance. मुझसे हो पाई, right? So you know those spaces men do not allow themselves to be soft. Because we are scared that if we are soft, we are not, we are limp, and we don't exist as men anymore, right? So I think that is where it started, and I want to be. I don't want to be defined by the gender. Like I am a cis heterosexual male, but I don't want that to define me, right? I want to be just a good human being, and what does that mean? And I think that's where so it's actually a very टेड टॉक जैसा एक टॉपिक है ना, तो इसको इस टॉपिक पे लोग कैसे हंसेंगे, कैसे रिफ्लेक्ट करेंगे, क्योंकि अगर 85-90 मिनट्स के लिए वो हंसे तो ये बात उन तक पहुंच जाएगी. दैट वाज द ओनली थॉट, एंड आई न्यू आई हैड 10-12 years of experience in comedy. I want to do this. Now how do I write material that will help people enjoy the show, but at the end of it they should go back saying, good point, yeah, I need to do something different in my life from now onwards. So that feeling should come at the end of it. So I think that has been the effort, and it's been such a fun challenge of sorts. So to make people laugh about things that they would not laugh at.
What does ansplaining mean, sir?
Ansplaining is, of course, mansplaining is a well-known word where men explain to women as if they don't know. Like, मैं आपको समझाता हूँ, kind of, you know, that attitude.
Okay.
नहीं, आप समझोगे नहीं, मैं आपको समझाता हूँ. So everything we will take that attitude with women about everything, and they'll be like, अच्छा समझाइए, right? Right? So that attitude where even when we open the door for a woman, right? In the Victorian era, it was called chivalry. But it's actually letting a woman know, saying, oh, I have strength, you don't.
Okay.
Right? So it's just that very, very quiet way in which every day we feel like men because we are able to stamp down on women. Right? That sense of power. We feel like, nah, yaar, मैं कमाता हूँ, वो कमाती नहीं है. मैं उनसे ज़्यादा कमाता हूँ. That feeling of like, I can walk in the night anywhere and I can feel safe. Safety क्या है यार, ये तो safe city है. But the way, like for instance, ये makeup करती रहती है. Why do they have to wear so much makeup? You realize the amount of judgment they get when they go out. Men can just go wear pajamas and wear a kurta and they can just be like cool. But women have to prepare so much because the kind of societal judgments that they get on a daily basis. So we don't see that. We are invisible to that, and we choose to be invisible to that. That's I think that's something we should stop. We should realize that nahi yaar, if we became women, no, life will be very tough for us. We are lucky we got born men. Luck था, वो बस lottery था ना.
Lottery था.
Yeah, you can't now think that lottery is my birthright. हर बार मुझे यही lottery. Like I say in the show, saying rebirth is the simplest concept that proves the male privilege theory. Ask any man, what would you like to be reborn as? All men would choose to be reborn a man. Ask any woman, what would you like to be reborn as? They'll be like, yeah, I want to be a man in my next birth. Right? The only woman who choose to reborn as a woman is either optimistically feminist or profoundly stupid. Right? Because it's great. This world is for men.
Yeah.
It has been designed by the men, of the men, for the men. So I think we need to understand that everything that we have created, whether it is culture, religion, societal practices, they're all been created to suit ourselves. We have done it to suit ourselves. We have made life so convenient for us that even little bit of woman in our lives get power and they start resisting. It inconveniences us so much. We're like, ये बहुत inconvenient हो रहा है. I don't like to be inconvenienced. They are fighting for equality. For you, it's a inconvenience. Oh my God, that's very wrong, Ray. That's very wrong.
Wow.
That's like if the East India Company had said, stop fighting for your freedom. It's really disturbing us every day. No, freedom is a birthright. This is my land. This is my home. Get out of here. Right? And if they said, no, stop disturbing us. It's not disturbance. This is a fight for basic right to live. Right? So I think, think about it. Therefore, the mother in your life, if you are heterosexual, your wife, your daughter, your friends, how much of a safe space are you able to create to those people? That shows how much of a man you are. Man is powerful or macho only when he gives up power. When he keeps it to himself, that's fear. You're scared to give away power. Give away power. Every good leader gives power to the people. So if you really want to be macho and strong, give up the privilege that you have as a man.
क्या बात है सर, रियली रियली मतलब जो एक एक चीज़ आपने बोली ना, मतलब आई कैन रिलेट, मतलब मेन राइट. बट सर, व्हाट वाज द पॉइंट, क्योंकि आपने बोला कि आप भी प्रिविलेज में रहते थे. व्हाट वाज द पॉइंट व्हेन यू रियलाइज्ड कि नहीं यार, आई हैव मेड अ मिस्टेक एंड प्रोबेबली इट्स टाइम फॉर मी टू अंडरस्टैंड, get it right, and make sure everyone gets it right, because now it's part of your show as well. Probably that's a risk you are taking by changing your forte, by changing the way you deliver your set.
I think the following reasons. One is that I'm lucky to have been cis heterosexual man, right? I didn't choose any of these things. I was heterosexual, cis heterosexual. I was male. And I realized so much of power is coming. So much of the life is actually very convenient for me. Very, very easy for me. The roads have been designed for my car only. Right? Right? So that feeling itself, I felt like, I want to do something good in life. And I want to be the best at it. I realize I'm best at something right now because I'm a man. It's like a competition where a lot of women could not compete. I didn't beat any of those women. They could not compete. That's all. It's a very fake. Every achievement in life is actually, it's just a mirage. So it's not real. It's not real. So even my mardangi is not real. This pride I get saying, nahi, main kamata hoon, main ye karta hoon, wo karta hoon kind of thing. This is my social status as a man. That's all I realize. It's just bull crap. It's just, ये तो झूठ है. सरासर बहुत बड़ा झूठ है ये. तो what is real? तुम कौन हो? If you're not your gender, who are you? Right? So in that way, I think in many ways, especially during COVID, right? जब मैं ये shows, I started writing the show when I realized मेरा job ख़त्म हो चुका है. 2 साल कोई कमाई नहीं थी, कोई हमें पैसे नहीं दे रहा था, कोई हमें भाव नहीं दे रहा था. सब लोग इस डर से घर पे बंधे थे कि शायद इसके बाद लाइव शोज़ नहीं हो पाएंगे और शायद फिल्म इंडस्ट्री इससे रिकवर नहीं हो पाएगी. ऑल दैट फियर वाज देयर कि वो अच्छा कमाई ख़त्म हो गई है बस. तो मैं मर्द ही नहीं हूँ ना. मेरा तो करियर नहीं है, मेरा तो काम नहीं है. मैं कौन हूँ मैं? राइट? इट्स लाइक अ वॉरियर विदाउट अ वॉर. राइट? एट टाइम्स ऑफ पीस वो जो रोज़ कुश्ती कर रहा है, जो रोज़ प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है, क्या करेगा? मैं क्यों बैठा हूँ? मैं क्या वॉचमैन बनूंगा क्या अभी? काइंड ऑफ थिंग. सो दैट स्टार्टेड सेइंग तो मैं हूँ कौन? इफ़ आई एम नॉट व्हाट आई डू, हु एम आई? राइट? वी ऑल मेन डिफाइन देमसेल्व्स बाय मैं ये करता हूँ, मैं आई हैव अचीव्ड दिस, मैं इनके लिए ये. ऑल ऑफ आवर डेफिनेशंस ऑफ आवरसेल्व्स आर बाय डूइंग. वी डोंट इवन नो हु वी आर. If we didn't do all those things, who are we? Like I remember my grandfather, when he retired, he went into depression. He worked till the age of 70. From 70 to 80, he was just sad every day because he retired. I'm like, retirement से life खत्म नहीं होती, बस retirement होती है. But those 10 years he felt like मैं कुछ काम का नहीं हूँ, मेरा कोई value नहीं है, मैं कुछ हूँ ही नहीं. 70 years you have lived. And you have no value? ये क्या है यार? This is so bad. Because he thinks that way. It's not like other people. Even if other people think that way, you should not think that way. You know the truth. Just because other people tell you their truth doesn't make it your truth. But all of us feel useless. We feel manless without work. So yeah, I think it's rebuilding that self-love and self-value.
मैं सर यही बोलूँगा कि आई एम फीलिंग सो प्रिविलेज्ड राइट नाउ टू सिट बिसाइड यू एंड हियर योर थॉट्स. Believe me or not, I do want to flatter you without a doubt, but this is something I'm saying पूरे दिल से कि everything that you have said can be used in a TED talk as well and can help make our society better in future. Beautiful, sir, everything that you said. And sir, I realized, because I work with a lot of stand-up comics, and especially from this year, I've worked with you and I've also worked with SA, sir.
Yeah.
What I'm realizing is now, at least in the south of India, the set, the topic, they're very real. It's not about कि यार दुनिया अच्छी है, दुनिया खराब है. We need to talk such a serious subject.
Yeah.
And the way even SA sir, brought attention to some things that nobody thinks about. It's amazing. And now comes this unsplaining.
Yeah.
Is this something which is changing in South comedy
No, I
circuit?
don't see that as a South alone phenomenon. I think a lot of comics who are onto their third or fourth specials now start thinking, saying, "यार, I want to do something that is important to me. मेरे life में जो भी बात हो रही है, I want to be able to make my art about that." Right? So it becomes a very reflective way of looking at things around you. So I see a lot of comics who are on their third and fourth specials right now, who are putting out the third and fourth specials. I think like somebody like Upmanyu put out a special a few months back. Kanan has just put out a special. All of these shows there'll be a certain element of something serious about it. There will be an undercurrent of seriousness. And you'll be making people laugh with some very peculiar topics that otherwise people wouldn't have laughed at, right? So I think like even something like Zakir's Tathastu, right, is it's an emotional story. It's an extremely emotional story, and it comes in the form of stand-up comedy. So it's like composing a ghazal in a very rare rag.
क्या
राइट.
बात है.
गज़ल तो सुनाना है, लोगों को गज़ल अच्छी लगती है, पर लेट्स चूज अ वेरी पेक्यूलियर राग जो शायद लोगों ने नहीं सुनी हो. Right, so that is what is when you start composing your third or fourth album, you will start thinking, saying, "Yeah, I want to go with different rags." Right, like for instance, I'll give you a simple example. Like when A.R. Rahman started composing music in Tamil, right, he had to contend with Ilayaraja, who was 15 years, 20 years, most well-known. So his first album, which was Roja, all the 5 songs in Roja were all Hindustani rags. So he said, I'm not going to choose anything that Ilayaraja has done. I'm going to choose rags which are very, very different to the Tamil listener, so that the songs themselves will sound fresh and new and nothing like, they won't compare me to Ilayaraja. Right? So in that sense, I think when we go into our third and fourth specials, we will choose topics that are very close to us, or we feel like, यार इसके बारे में कोई और बात नहीं कर रहा है. Let's talk about this. Whereas in our first 2 specials, we used to talk about हर किसी के बारे में एक एयरपोर्ट का जोक होगा, एक बॉय गर्ल डिफरेंस का जोक होगा, मेरे बॉस पे जोक मारेंगे, then my wife is like this joke मारेंगे. Everybody had the same 20-30 jokes. South Indians, North Indian में ऐसे करते हैं, North Indians ऐसे, same jokes. That used to be like that's where even somebody like Russell Peter starts with, no? Just profiling. आप देखने में शक्ल से ऐसे लगते हो, आप शायद ये होंगे, वेरी सरफेस, लिटरली सरफेस. आपके शक्ल को देख के आपके शक्ल के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. Like Gujarati jokes and South Indian jokes and Tam jokes and all that used to happen at that time. Now after third, fourth special, you're like, you're going through so much more in life. You've gone through so much more in life. And you want to be able to bring all those life experiences into your art. And if you can make people laugh about it, I think it's punya. It's some good karma. Na?
So it's like from pleasing the audience to pleasing the artist in you.
Yeah.
That's a journey, sir.
That's
right?
a journey, yeah. And if you can please yourself first and end up pleasing them also, you've cracked it.
या वाह सर. बट अभी जैसे मैंने अपने बात की थी ऐसे सर की, आई नो काफ़ी ज़्यादा चल रहा है, बट इट्स रियली रियली गुड टू टॉक टू सर. आप लोग जो साउथ के कॉमिक्स है, एलेक्स सर हैं, अपने
Yeah.
नवीन रिचर्ड साहब हैं, ऐसे सर, हाउ ऑफ्टन डू यू मीट, लाइक हाउ इज द
We
रिलेशन
all
बिटवीन?
started together. So it's SA, myself, Naveen Richard. Naveen Richard was doing theatre with Evam. So
Okay.
he was an actor in our play. So we said, why don't you try comedy? Right? So that's how he came in. SA was an assistant director in one of our plays. Right? He was also training to be an assistant director in cinema. So that's how he got into comedy. So we just pushed people who we knew in our world, saying, comedy kar lo na. And Alexander was somebody who came, who moved from the US. He had a job in Amazon. Moved to India. Was looking to become a comic because like yaar ye aisa koi field ho raha hai. Maybe should I try? So he was firstly doing it apart from work. Then he said, I think at Avon we were able to give him a 2-year kind of period where you make money on this. We will try and figure out a way in which you can make money on this. So I think that's kind of the orientation we've had for most comics between 2009 to 2016. Right? Ki aap karo, we will try and provide you as many shows and stage time and all of that as possible. And I think that generation of comics, like I said, not only in South India, across, like today, if I just get on a call and speak to somebody like an Amit Tandon, right? I will get an answer right away because when we were nobody knew us. We were talking the same problems, saying, hey, Gurgaon mein wo location kaisa hai? He will say, oh, what is your can you help my show in Bangalore? So all that first generation of comedians from Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, we're always communicating with each other at some level or the other.
Wow, sir. Thanks to Evam कि आज हमारे पास we have Alex Babu, SA, Naveen Richard. So
Well, you can say thanks to Evam, but yeah, I mean, you can't take away from the fact that these all
Absolutely.
people made it by themselves also. But yeah, I think Evam was the right place at the right time, opening up this art form to many people out there. And I think that's what we will always be proud about, saying all these people became comedians because we created that this thing. Otherwise, they were always funny. They could have always but we kind of maybe we were catalysts.
Okay.
Because at the end of a reaction, a catalyst disappears.
Wow.
Right. So I think we were very, very good catalysts.
I can tell you, sir, you still are. So it was wonderful talking to you. But एक हमारा एक छोटा सा segment है in which like it's normal rapid fire round. Sir, so favorite stand-up comedian?
Favorite stand-up comedian right now in India would be Biswa Kalyan Rath.
And outside India?
Outside India, Eddie Izzard. Yeah.
Favorite city to perform?
Oh, I'm so partial to Amsterdam right now because I had such a beautiful show here the day before. So, favorite city to perform, I think London is phenomenal, and actually, Bangalore is a really, really special city to perform at all points of time.
How do you handle stress?
I get stressed very easily. I have to become aware that I'm stressing. So, art is my best de-stressor. I write a lot. And I think therapy is a very, very beautiful way in which you can become aware of yourself. So I take help a lot to de-stress because it's not easy to de-stress otherwise.
Favorite holiday destination?
Edinburgh.
Okay.
Edinburgh, yeah. Yeah, it's the most beautiful city in the world.
Is that not the place where you got your first award?
Yeah. Evam got a very, very huge award there, yes. And that's what started stand-up comedy also for us. When we went to Edinburgh in 2008, 2009, we saw stand-up comedy for the first time saying, yaar, yehi to hum kar rahe hain. Isko stand-up comedy bolte hain. Acha, okay, let's get to know more about this. So we saw live for the first time. So, wahan se, and Edinburgh is the most beautifully dramatic city. So it's a great holiday destination.
Favorite movie?
Virumandi directed by Kamal Hassan. It's a 2000 I think one film. It's Kamal's directorial debut. No, it's a second film as a director actually. His first was Hey Ram. Phenomenal film. It's one of the greatest. I mean, you should. I hope the world sees Virumandi. Yeah.
Favorite actor?
Shubin Shahar from Malayalam right now. I'm binge watching Shubin Shahar's work. I don't know if you have seen. He would have come in Kumbalangi Nights.
Okay.
And phenomenal actor. I mean, like, of course, Malayalam has probably got the best actors right now. Fahad Fazil and Shubin and so many people. Yeah.
Favorite cuisine?
I think I'm very partial to Mediterranean. I love Mediterranean food.
The Indian version of it or the real one?
Yeah, I think, Indian version also. But yeah. Mediterranean is actually very close to India also in terms of its style. So.
Crowd work or storytelling?
Storytelling. Crowd work मुझसे I'm not a very extroverted person. मुझे crowd से interact करना उतनी comfortable नहीं feel करता हूँ. I tend to be ज़्यादा introverted as such. So when I see somebody like Rahul Subramaniam doing a crowd work show, I'm like, यार कैसे करते हो? I'm in awe of it, but at the same time I know मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा. वो मेरी interest भी नहीं है.
iOS or Android?
Oh, I think Android is a beautiful system. I'm stuck with the Apple world right now because कहीं अटक गया है इसमें और चेंज करने का मन कर रहा है पर उतना नॉलेज भी नहीं है. But when I was an Androider, I know that it was a beautiful open source world where people were it felt like a cool thing to do. Apple is just like one snobbish thing to do.
Texting or talking?
Texting. I don't talk. I can't talk on the phone. I'm a texter, voice noter. Anything to avoid human interaction. Humans tire me a lot.
Thanks a lot for still accepting to talk to me, sir. Invisibility or super strength?
Invisibility. Oh, it will be so valuable to be not visible to people. It's by choice. Worst is when you're visible and they treat you invisibly. But if you can choose to be invisible, that'll be lovely. Wow.
If you could travel back in time, what period would you want to go to?
I definitely I've always wanted to be there when this frail, silly, beautiful old man called Mahatma Gandhi was fighting for this concept of India. Today we're all struggling saying ये secular कैसे हो सकता है? How can you make this secular? वो बहुत ज़्यादा fight मार रहे थे secular करने को इस country को. That time, no, that 40s, I want to go back and see what was this man fighting for. What an idealist he was. कितना idealism था उनमें. And on the day when we got our freedom, he was fasting in Bengal because the riots were happening between Hindus and Muslims. I'm like, he didn't celebrate freedom. He was suffering, saying, this is not the freedom we fought for. That Hindus and Muslims fight. This is not the freedom that he died an unhappy person. I want to know I would like to be his assistant, at least to see what was your concept, sir? Why did you do this? They shot you for it, but why? What was, it's a beautiful idea. It's a utopian idea. And I think all of us as artists in some way should die for that utopia. In some way we should always fight for the secularity of our nation because that's what makes India special. Otherwise India is useless. If that beauty of it is not there, then it's like any other country.
That's true.
That anekta mein ekta, if that sense is maintained in my country, what a beautiful fabric of an idea it is.
So well said, sir.
Yeah.
This is actually one very interesting question, and whenever I hear an answer from an artist or the person I'm interviewing, I always feel यार कि मैं भी वही करूँगा. Like अभी एक सनी हिंदुजा करके एक एक्टर हैं, he came. उनका भी आंसर was beautiful. He said कि I would want to go back to my childhood with this maturity.
That's so true.
मैं अपने पेरेंट्स को परेशान नहीं करना चाहता. The life I could have lived, and the answer you gave, I actually went back. Like I'm actually imagining कि यार we got independence, and I'm getting goosebumps
Yeah,
like thinking about that.
he was fasting to death on the day we got independence in Calcutta because the Hindu-Muslim riots were happening. He was unhappy. He was broken. He was not celebrating, saying, "We won the project. Project खत्म हो गया." नहीं, like project गलत हो रहा है. ये नहीं होना था. ये ऐसे नहीं होना था. इसको correct करना है. Beautiful, man. That today it's so easy to rewrite history and make him seem like the bad guy. You know, make the right wing seem like the right thing. I'm like, so easy to rewrite history. Latest version of history सुनते हैं. Latest. आज का latest history.
Yeah. Oh man, seriously, sir. मैं थोड़ा सा I'm lost now. I've gone back to that era. I think ये question easy है आपके लिए because you've already answered. Who has it easier, men or women? So
Men, yeah, we're so easy. We're bullies.
I think I also know the answer to next question. Like acting, ये और मैं.
Acting, meh. Like it's not a very powerful thing. Yeah. And I know in my own generation, I know so many good actors who are so much better than I am. I would rather become a director to those actors. Like वो इतना ज़्यादा बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. I would rather use them. Like I don't want to feel sad saying मुझसे why am I not able to act as well as them? No, they're meant to do that. I'm meant to write and direct. So yeah.
What's your next project, sir? As a director, as in stand-up,
As
whatever
a
you want to
director, I'm writing my script. I have to get it ready in the next 45 days. So it's a tough deadline, but it's a film that it's the Tamil name for it is Father. Right, Father. So it's about fatherhood, but it's a very mass film with two heroes and one main heroine, young girl. It's a lot of Dil and Jaan going into it right now. So it's the only thing I wake up to every day. So yeah.
Best of luck, sir. I hope.
Thank you.
वो कहते हैं ना कहीं कभी एक चमत्कार होना होता है लाइफ में. I hope this becomes the चमत्कार of your life, sir.
Every day is a chamatkar, Surmeet, every day. I think me getting to come to Amsterdam to perform my art, meet people like you, that itself is chamatkar. I'm so grateful. It's unbelievable. It's just
Something you do before every show. Some ritual.
I think I definitely prep before a show. I don't just go and I prepare saying 1 ghanta prepare karna hai. Even if you've done the show 100 times, I prepare every time. Uske baad I do a little bit of yoga stretches and then I listen to music a lot. So it puts me in a nice space to say, okay, now let's have fun. So I think that's essentially. I've never gone on stage high. I've never had the guts to do that. A lot of comedians enjoy doing that. I feel like no, I can't lose control on stage. I want to lose control in a very controlled way. So so yeah, music and stretches.
And one best thing about Amsterdam.
Oh, Amsterdam is. I think you have cracked world peace. Right, so whether it's, I think it's, it's world peace. I really think that weed is probably the most, in every way. I mean, whether it's for cancer or pain control for people or just getting angry, testosterone-filled men to become soft and gooey. Right, I think that's what the world needs right now. And somewhere I think Shiva was right. Lord Shiva was right saying, guys, come on. That's a higher power is important for Amsterdam. Yeah, God bless you.
It was pleasure to have you, sir.
Pleasure. Same here.
In Thamba with Lamba. Sorry, I forgot to tell you what Thamba means.
Thamba,
means,
yes.
It means stop in Marathi.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful that you decided to stop with me for this podcast. Yeah. So lovely having you on the podcast.
Stops are very important. I think you should keep on stopping in life so that you can enjoy the movement. If you don't stop, you won't enjoy moving.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, everyone, for listening in, for tuning in. We will keep on bringing more and more interesting podcasts to you. This one will remain one of the special podcasts that I've shot. Thanks a lot, sir.
Pleasure.
Once again.
All right.
Okay, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you.